Ms. Boutel, so some Christians believe that God is able to reveal himself to us through some sort of revelation. What types are those then?
So we've got special or general revelations, and we'll think about special revelations first.
Okay.
So Mary had a visit from an angel.
Oh, Gabriel, was it?
Gabriel, it was called the Annunciation.
Okay, and what was that about?
And this was when she first found out she was going to have Jesus.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, so a bit of a shock.
A shock, but she was very honoured to do this thing for God.
So obviously that's a special revelation because it's a personal experience, isn't it?
And also not very common. We don't often see angels.
No,
so you could have a vision. You might have a dream in which God reveals himself.
Okay.
A miracle you might experience.
Okay. Could you give me a really good example of visions?
Right, so visions. A good one for the exam would be Saul.
Right.
So Saul hated Christians and persecuted them.
Okay.
This is at the beginning of the church.
Okay.
And he was on his way to persecute Christians.
He's off to Damascus.
To Damascus, absolutely. When he saw a blinding light, he fell off his horse and was blinded by this light and heard a voice.
Whose voice was that?
It was Jesus' voice.
And what was Jesus telling him?
Well, why are you persecuting me?
Right. So what happens then to him?
So then what happens is nobody else has experienced the same thing as him. He's taken to Damascus.
Has he gone blind?
He's absolutely, he can't see a thing.
Right.
He's been blinded by this light.
Yeah.
And while he's in Damascus, he goes and actually receives a miracle.
Right.
So he's healed of this blindness by one of the Christians.
Oh yeah, that's Ananias, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, because he has a dream about God telling him to do that.
There you go.
So it's another revelation.
It all pieces together,
and then,
doesn't it?
in the end, Saul converts to Christianity.
Yeah.
Because of this special revelation which he's had. It's so powerful to him.
We need to explain. Convert means he was Jewish. He turns and becomes a Christian himself.
Oh.
So instead of persecuting them, he's now one of them.
Okay.
In fact, a really important one.
So revelation can be a really important aspect in a religious person's life.
Absolutely, yeah.
What about general revelation then?
Okay, so general is not quite as dramatic, perhaps, not quite as specific. So if you imagine that you were to look into a starry sky, you might think, you might think, wow, that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And that might inspire you to imagine that God is the creator of everything because it's so beautiful. It reveals something of the nature of God because it's beautiful, it's impressive, it's expansive.
Okay. I would assume there must be some reasons against this idea of special revelations and general revelations, especially with the more personal type of revelation. Are there things which people will say it shows that it isn't God?
Yeah, I think most people would say, well, you're affected by what's around you in a very emotional way. You could probably explain it by perhaps you've just eaten something, maybe some strong cheese, and that's made you experience this kind of strange emotional response.
Or there could be other issues, like there could be mental health issues. You might have some drug-induced experiences. Anything like that would, of course, totally negate any of these experiences which you were having or had.
Yeah.
Good. Is there anything which we can say, I suppose, which is beneficial about these special revelations? Is there anything? Any examples which we could possibly use?
Well, why don't we think about someone like Nicky Cruz?
Okay.
Nicky was a member of a very violent gang, and he had no faith in humanity whatsoever. He'd had a very violent and abusive childhood, and he encountered someone who was religious, who was Christian, who showed him love and care. And didn't seem to be intimidated by him. Okay,
and so he had a revelation through this, and
he did.
What happened to him?
So what happened was he actually decided to change his life completely. So instead of being a bloodthirsty and violent member of a criminal gang,
I think it's the Mau Mau gang, wasn't it, in New York? I think.
That's the one. Yeah. He decided, actually, I'm going to change my life Completely. I'm going to be different.
Okay, and
Kind.
he sets up his own foundation, doesn't he? The Nicky Cruz Outreach Foundation, to help similar people like himself.
So yeah, lots of people who've had this experience will want to do something to make up for it, to do something to stop people being the same way that they were.
Okay, that's great to know. Thank you very much indeed.